Alright, hello YouTubers. Hey, I just want to do an update on my coal burning in my Hot Blast 1500. As you can see, got some nice blue dancing ladies in there. I want you to pay attention to how the coal, I've got it banked pretty much to the center and not all up on the sides on the fire brick. I just want you to see that and see how it just burns nice chalky white, but I just want you to see that. I hadn't tended this. I did that this morning. Here, I'll get a little closer to the front and you can see it all. I'm going to shut this door back. I just want to do this real quick, and there's the temperature because I just stowed one more layer of coal in here. It was at 425, and that kind of, it'll come down a little bit, but it'll go back up. That'll give that about 30 minutes, and that temperature will be right on back up there. Now, running with the same draft door down there, the same ventilation on it, doing everything the same. But after burning it now, it's a little over a month, I have found with these hot blasts, because you have two shaker grates together in one point to shake, and I have found here's a shovel I made. Actually, it's a combing shovel from Walmart, and I just welded on a piece of tube. Works pretty good. I have found that if you put your coal in there, and once you get your coal in there, I went down the side of the fire bricks. I kind of just pushed back a little bit to the center, and I don't let it all just float out in the whole bed. You don't use as much coal. That's using anthracite, and I've got bituminous too. Now I've burned that. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest, because it's different. It is different, but I've got it. Burns good. I mixed it, and I burned some of my wood when we didn't have the hot weeks. When we didn't have the real cold weeks, I didn't use much of the anthracite, and I just used some wood, and I mixed it with some of that bituminous I got, and I got a little over a ton out there in the trailer of it. And that does pretty good, and it gets it going, keeps it nice and warm still, when it's not that cold. But here the past few days now, we've had some cold temperatures. Last night it got down, I think, to 20, and tonight it's supposed to get down to 22. And it keeps it real nice and comfortable in the house. But I just wanted to update this on burning with these hot blasts. I found if I've only, this second time today was an hour ago. It's 9:20 now. An hour ago, it didn't take me 25 minutes to get this stove right back up to par again. And it's been burning and holding the temperature in the house at 80 to 81 degrees. Now, I know it seems like a little warm, but when it's real cold outside, and mine's just blowing through. I'm not tied into vents. It's nice. It's comfortable, very comfortable, not too hot or none of that. And through the whole house. And I have found if you'll let that coal to the center when you put your coal in there, after you got your coal going. Let's just say you got your coal going. I go back through videos again, but you got your coal going. And I come in here this morning, it was around 8:30. I don't shake my grates right off the bat, and the reason why, it'll look just like that. If not, you won't have the blue dancing ladies. That's the coal getting burning. That's just another little layer I throwed on top here just a minute ago to just let that be. But like I said, pay attention to how I kindly to the center instead of spreading it out. I just kindly banked it all to the center in a way, a little mound all the way down. And what I found, like this morning, I come in here, I got my shovel, and I start in the back. It's usually about 6 times, just a little layer of coal right there, all the way to the front. And I open that bottom door. And I did not shake my grate. I went and got me a cup of coffee, drunk me a cup of coffee. About 10 minutes later, I come back in here, and now that coal's starting to burn a little bit. Now I shake my grate. shook my grate, and all you're getting now is just ash. Just ash. And normally I've learned burning this coal, you do have a little more ash, but you've got to learn to let that coal burn up. And I found that I'm getting long burn times. I mean long burn times. So I shook my grate. Let's go back to that. I shook my grate. I added another, just that little shovel right there. Little layer, started in the back. It's usually like 6 times, 5, 6 times to the front. Just a little layer. Back over that. Bottom door still open. Went off for another 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most. Come back and you open that door and you'll see it's burning that coal. That coal is burning. And then I added one more layer, little layer, and I shook my grate again to get the rest of the ash. And you'll see your coal drop down when you look in there. You'll see that bed drop down. And the reason why I was telling you pay attention to the fire brick and how I banked it to the center is that you don't want ash all built up to the side there, or you'll be in here shaking grate and you're going to lose half your coal. So that's why when I put my coal in, after I get my coal in there, I come back with my shovel, kind of let you see here, and I just kind of like push over and just push down a little bit. Real quick, it won't take a second, you know, see like I'm doing here. I just push it over, and that's that, you know, done. And that way all my coals are in the center, as you can see. And, oh, sorry about that. And what happens is when I shake my grate, I got nothing but ash. I don't have no ash built up on each side of the firebox. I dump my pan, and these pans, that's the only thing that I didn't like. They were a little shallow. I had one made, it was a little bit taller, but they are shallow, but they're long. I dumped my pan, I shook my grate again, dumped my pan, and that's that. I didn't have to do it again until here it was like, I think it was 8:30, 12 hours, and it was still the temperature. You can see the firebox temperature's now done coming back up. It'll get on up there, probably it'll start leveling out at about 425 to 450. Here, let's walk through the house here. And you can see, I'm heating a room way off back there. See, that's a bedroom back there. And there's my temperature right now. Here, light it up for you. I keep my heat pump on 71 when it's cold like this out here. And there's my actual temperature in the house is 79. And that'll probably, here in another 30 minutes, that'll climb back up to 80 or 81. Of course, you think that's hot, but it's not, because it's cold outside. And like I said, tonight it's supposed to drop down to 22, I think it is. One says 22, one says it probably in the teens, 19, and you got another station that says 24. So who knows? Around here, it could be snowing when they're calling for rain. So, but just a little update on that. And after I put my coal back in there again this evening, I just showed you what I done and kept it. You know, you ain't got to worry about keeping it completely off. I just stick my little shovel down in there, and it works good because the way it's angled. Just down in there and just kind of like pushed back. Just pushed it to the center a little bit. That's it. I ain't had to use a poker or none of that. Not one time doing this. I've realized I don't have to use a poker. And when I do that, like I said, shake my grate. After I let my first little layer get going on top of that bank of coals in the morning, and then I had to after I got another layer going, I shook my grate again, and that got the remaining ash out. Dumped it, good to go for the day. And I only had 3 little layers in there. Run all day. Now just did it again, and this will run. I won't have to worry about it. It is 9:30 almost, and I won't have to worry about this till tomorrow tomorrow morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock. It will keep that temperature. It's nice and consistent, and it will. I've noticed it will keep that good temperature like that. So just to let you know, I'm just trying to, people that hadn't burned coal in these, or
or say they're having issues and this, that, and other. When it comes to mine, like I said, it's a little learning curve, with every stove, but this is new to me burning the coal, and it's a learning curve. With the bituminous now, let me tell you what, that'll get to blazing quick. You don't want to throw a lot in there at one time. So if that's all you got, start with a little bit. Once it actually gets to burning, you can spread it out, them coals will break. Spread it out, then you can layer some more in there. Do a little bit of time, because that bituminous will burn up faster. But it'll burn hot. It'll get hot a lot quicker. But when it comes to this anthracite, this is what I found. I put it in there like I explained. And like I said, when you first come in, say you leave in the morning, and you come in the evening, and you come back here to check your stove, don't shake that grate yet. Go ahead and put you a nice small little layer across that and open your bottom door. Give it about 10 minutes. And once you come back to it 10 minutes later, you'll notice it'll be burning. You'll have them blue dancing ladies in the yellow. You'll see it starting to burn and catch. Shake your grate then. Go ahead and shake your grate. Empty your pan. Put another layer in there. Let that get going. Give it about 10 minutes. Let that get going. Shake your grate again, and that way you'll have all your ash out by then. But if you've got it all banked, if it's all banked up to the sides over here where I did it first, you're going to have a lot of ash still that's just holding in them corners. And now you got cold spots. And to be honest, you're going to have more. You're going to start losing rock when you're trying to get out all that ash. There's no need to doing all the poking with the poker. Now, have a poker. You may need it down the road, but I've done figured out you will not have to use that poker if you do it just like this. And it, real simple, real quick. When you're putting it in there, like I said, only 3 little layers, and it's usually about 5, maybe 6 times of coal, just along there. And once you got that little bed going, you're done. And I will not touch this. I will not shake that grate until tomorrow morning, 10, 11 o'clock. And as long as it keeps showing nice warm temperature in there when it's cold, and I say come next week, it's going to call for it to get back up to 50s again. So there you go. You might not want to burn your anthracite. You might want to burn your wood. Or if you got bituminous, you back off on it. That's what I was doing. I was kind of mixing the bituminous with my wood that I had over here just in the rack, seeing how that done, that lower burn so it wasn't so hot. And let me tell you, it'll get hot quick if you ain't careful. So a little mixing, here and there, and then I just went to burning some of the bituminous, just a little handful in there. But the thing I figured out with the bituminous with these two, you'll get that nice fine little powder sud in your pipe with that bituminous, where you don't with the anthracite. I wouldn't call it a buildup, because it was just fine. When I run a brush down in there, it was a real fine little powder that come out in the bottom. It wasn't like even wood ash, soot in your pipe. It was different. But with this anthracite, you don't get none of that. So that's a good thing. So, but with that bituminous, I found that, hey, it's better if you can burn it hot. Let it rip. You ain't gonna hurt the stove. I don't think you're gonna hurt the stove letting it rip. I mean, I've had this already up to the 700 mark, if not higher. Now I do that sometimes just to get it hot, so I know if anything's in my pipe, hey, let's burn it on out. But I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna hurt this stove. It was designed for that. I mean, you can stoke these things out. I've had this stove stoking, and I've I've not had a problem with it. So, but yeah. There's my update. Just want to do an update on my opinion of how the coal burns in this stove and the best way to do it. So, and if you, like I said, keep it like that, we'll get one more look. If you'll just, once you put your coal in there, take your little shovel and push it toward the center. That way it'll keep all your ash going straight down to your pan, and you don't have it built up. As you can see, the way it's contoured, the walls of this is contoured. You're going to have ash just holding over here 3 or 4 inches on each side.
So I realized once I done this, I'm getting longer burn times and more consistent with the heat coming off this. So just wanted to let you know that. Anybody that's interested or wanting to know, with your hot blast, I got the 1500, or if you have the 1557, the same thing. Just to let you know, there's where I'm at with that, and still I'm keeping my settings all at the same. My door, I'm get it over again. The bottom draft door, that spun out all the way. I did try turning it in, and I noticed it does. Yes, you can. You could probably turn that down and probably get even longer burn times out of just that pile. So, and quick update too on the coal, how much I've used. I think I done told y'all this holds about 3.5 bags. And we brought 12 bags in last Thursday. I put 2 in because I had probably a bag down there because I wasn't using the anthracite. I was using some of that bituminous I had over here in these boxes when I got that from that guy off Craigslist. Anyway, and mixing it with my wood, like I said, it wasn't. We didn't have to. It was actually fairly nice last week. We was outside without jackets on. But as far as the coal amount goes, as I've been figuring out past few days and still, trying to stay with this anthracite, my guess, you'll go through a bag a day and a half. I mean, so you're not going to burn through it like, that. It's going to burn and burn a while. As I can say, seeing I've had this door closed and all that, and you can see it, like I said, that temperature. And like I said, it don't take 30 minutes once you start, when you come back to tin your stove again after a 12-hour period, it takes about 30 minutes to get that stove right back up to par again. Not no hour or two like I've been seeing on a lot of videos. It's only taken me 25 to 30 minutes to get this stove right back to par. So you're not going to lose that heat, no, not real quick or none of that. That's how long it takes. Like I said, I don't know how much I can stress that. When I am adding my coal and letting my coal, when I do that, I do open that bottom door some so I can get that extra draft going to get that coal burning. And once I get that coal burning, that's it. Shut that door, you're done. And I mean, you can add more coal still. You don't have to open that bottom door. You can add more coal just like I did here. I come in here, only had 2 layers. And that was over an hour ago when I come in here and I put one more little layer in there. Just a little shovel full across top. And you can see already, and as long as we've been sitting here, this is what it looks like. It's been 18 minutes. It's already got that going, and that will be nice glowing red in the morning and still holding a nice temperature. And if y'all want me to comment, I'll come back and do it. But you can see that's going to get on up to about 425. But I guarantee you it won't be no lower than that tomorrow at 10 o'clock. That temperature in that box will still be right there. So just to let you know, this is how I've been burning with mine. How it's burning, the little learning curve, and burning the anthracite in here. The bituminous, like I said, that catches quick. It burns. That's a little different. But this anthracite, I think I've got it down now. So I know how it's going to burn, and I can start figuring out how much I will burn a year. So, but there you go. Thanks for looking.